Hey y'all, it's your girl Myka, aka Butta, and I'm back to you with another scoop of mocha chocolate. Oh my goodness. And today I'm going to be answering some questions from the Ask Herbie app. Get ready. All right, so now I'm not a huge YouTube channel, so I'm not getting paid to, go over the Ask Herbie stuff. However, um, I've asked for submissions to Ask Butta, and I've gotten them, but they're from close friends and sometimes family. And I didn't really want to put their stuff on the street. My friends and family all kind of know each other, so that would be wrong. So what I decided to do was I saw all these questions on Ask Herbie, and they're not really getting too many responses. So I'm going to go ahead and answer some of those questions for you. Here we go. Now, this first one comes from Anonymous 5646. I'll go ahead and pull that up for you now. All right, Anonymous 5646 says, should I give him a chance? There's this guy I'm dating. He's a nice guy and all, romantic, sweet, and ready for marriage. But he's a bit immature to me. He spends money ridiculously. Mm, yeah, I can already tell this is not going to be good. He has a regular job but enjoys throwing his money on expensive dinners, gold chains, and clothes. Mind you, I am the complete opposite. I'm very careful with the money, with money. I don't want to have major arguments with him in the future about money. He also enjoys doing bottle service with his guys regularly at the club. Like every weekend he parties, and he's 37 years old. He tells me he's looking for marriage, but he still parties every weekend. He also does daily videos and selfies of himself. I hope most of these traits will change when we get married, but I know most men don't change. Should I still take him seriously and just accept him for who he is? Now, Anonymous 5646, I have a couple of answers for you here today. The first thing is, do you know what his financial status is? He may have the money to do that and still, be completely fine. So if you don't know what his financial status um, is this question stating that he really doesn't have it to spend? And so you're worried about that? Because if that is the case, then you need to let that go. Like if you know for sure that he really doesn't have it like that, that's something that is, he's 37 years old. He's set in his ways. He ain't going nowhere. And I doubt very seriously a lot of this is going to change. Over time, eventually, men do change and settle down. Okay. But it takes a lot of work and effort to get to that level. And if he's saying he's ready for marriage, but his actions show differently, and he cannot afford to do what he's doing, then yeah, you should definitely take that with a big, huge grain of salt. Okay. Keep him at an arm's length and kind of watch what's going on. And he needs to show you that he's ready to change. If he's ready to be in a serious relationship, then he needs to show you that. Now, watching his pockets, that is something that you do when you're considering a man for marriage. You'll say, okay, he's spending, he's spending, he's spending. But like I said, if you don't know what he can do as far as financial wise, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would honestly ask him, because marriage is something that is very serious. It lasts a lifetime. And for most people nowadays, these younger people, they're not looking, even in the 30s, even in 20s, 30s, even early 40s, people aren't really in tune with what commitment is. Okay. And so this is a serious conversation that you need to have with him. So you are looking for marriage. Okay. Where are you financially? I see you go out, we all popping bottles and all that stuff, but are you ready for a wife? Are you going to be able to pop my bottle and not nobody else's? So we need to start looking for some interview questions for this gentleman. Okay. He does daily videos and selfies of himself. That's another kind of a red flag. It's different if you're doing something like YouTube, for example. I'm trying to build a channel. So in this situation, it's not like I'm on selfies all day, like, oh, look at me, I'm hey, 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 hey. No, none of that. This is this is a passion of something that I want to do for a living. So it's a little different. If he needs that much attention, that is a red flag as well. And I wrote the book on that, so you might want to check it out. But so needing attention, spending gobs of money, these are red flags. But if you don't know what his pockets look like, then I wouldn't, you need to have that discussion with him first. If you're saying that he's doing all this and he cannot afford to do all of this, that's a completely different story. If he's got it like that and he's a secret millionaire or something like that, then that's really his business. However, it could still be a bad thing. He could be the richest dude that you know, but if he's spending that much, he could end up broke and dependent on your ass. So you might want to think about that as well. Um, let's see. I know most men don't change. Should I still take him seriously and just accept him for who he is? This is where it gets cloudy and murky, because if this is bothering you now, it's definitely going to bother you if you get into a serious relationship with this person. Okay? If I know that this is something that is serious for me, I'm going to give you an example. I know a couple, right? One is very responsible with money and they're the breadwinner of the family. And the other person is completely not responsible with money at all. And every single day, every day, they argue about finances. And money is the number one cause for divorce. So remember that as well. This is something that you have to take very seriously. Spending a lifetime with someone is very difficult. If you're having money problems, it makes it that much worse. So I would say pass unless you have some other information that you did not include here. Okay, find somebody that's more compatible with you, someone that is like-minded financially. All right. So I hope that answered your question. I don't know that you would respond or not. I'm going to leave a link to this video in the comments. Maybe you'll see it. Who knows? All right, let's go on to the next one. This comes from Anonymous1222. All right. Now they're in here. Hold on, let me see. Can I get the title? Let me see. I can't get the title of it. But here it goes. I've been single for a couple of years, and someone who had a crush on me called someone in my house because they were temporary here. When he called, he asked if he could call me, and I asked him if he was single, and he said yes, he was. So I said, okay, so somebody was staying with you is what I'm taking it. Somebody was staying with you, and this gentleman called them on your phone and asked if he could keep the number, and you said sure. Okay, and this is what I'm assuming. We talked and enjoyed each other's company for a few times. He treated me so nice, and I wasn't even attracted to him, but decided to stop being vain. We happened to spend Valentine's together because we are both single. He bought me chocolate and flowers and spent a good night together. Gets interesting. Then my dry season was over, but the thing is, he works a lot and he just stopped reaching out. It's the way I feel. We are not young, and I am now angry and hurt because I'm tired of these types of men who go hard, then go ghost. I think that's what the title was, going hard, going ghost, something like that. When I decided to sleep with him, I was going for the long haul. I don't sleep around, and I don't want to be the only one calling or asking for him to come over. because it's just dumb to me. But I don't want him to think I'm no longer interested. I don't like how things change after sex. That's one of the reasons I went so long without it. Did I mention he liked me for a long time? You didn't, but thank you, Anon1222. Couple things with this particular one. Women have egos, and we don't address it. Women just don't address it. I can be honest here, and I probably lose my girl code card, or whatever. But we have egos. If you've ever heard something like, "Oh, he did that to me. Oh, he'll never get none of this again." Like you have the only coochie on the entire planet. You don't. It is not the best one in the whole wide world. It's just not. Sorry. Mine ain't yours, ain't nobody's is, okay? There's other things involved. Now, being that you have been out of the dating pool for so long, what I really think happened was you got an air of something that you were looking for from him. And so you decided to break the cycle of being single. You wanted to loosen up. You say, okay, I got to get out here and do this eventually. Otherwise, I'm going to be single forever. And I really get that that's what you were saying. Like, I wasn't interested in him. I really wasn't even thinking about him. But he won me over. And then after I slept with him, he's like, where's he at? Right? So here is what I have to say to that. You can't assume that because the guy is not really all that good looking, that he's not going to dog you out. You can't say to yourself, I mean, he's not really that good looking, but shit, I'm cute. I might as well go ahead and give him a chance. He's lucky. That doesn't work. It's Valentine's Day, and by your own admission, this guy supposedly wasn't very good looking. So he's talking to you. He knows Valentine's Day is coming up. He said, easy way to get some. I've been liking you forever, girl. Yes. Oh, what? I'm single too. You know what? Let's spend Valentine's Day together since we both single. It's game. He was running game on you. I'm sorry. You got gamed. It is what it is. What you need to do, what I would say you need to do in the future, would be to vet a little better. You've been out of the dating pool for a long time. I think you said, 2 years? So what I would do, that was kind of an obvious, and I think maybe you were kind of really hoping that would go somewhere. You were taking it seriously, but he was not. So in the future, what I would suggest you do is really get to know someone first. Think of sex as something that is so important that if you lost it or gave it away, you would be broke forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay? So when you think of it in that term, you want to think of it as something that somebody has to work for. It's like $1 billion. Not saying that you have the only $1 billion in the world, but most men, they're out looking for sex and sex only. Not most, not all, but there are men out there that are looking for sex. And unfortunately, I feel like he might have gamed you into giving him some. And, that'll probably last him a while until he finds somebody else to run the same game on. It's unfortunate. It happens. You're going to have to deal with it and move on and just learn from this experience. Okay? You also have to be careful if you do know for sure that he liked you for a long time. Because men's minds kind of work like this, depending on what sign they are or like how they are as a person. They'll say, I've been liking her forever and I finally get to get some. I'm going to turn her out. I'm going to do everything I can to make it the best ever and then leave her alone. She should have messed with me when she had the chance. They do that. Just like women do. Women do it too. So, I mean, this situation, I'm sorry, girlfriend, you kind of fell into the lonely trap, and it was Valentine's Day, and we look at that sometimes as a wonderful day to spend with somebody you care about. And he took advantage of that, unfortunately. So just learn from this and move on. Date. Go out on dates with different people. You don't have to sleep with anybody. Just go out. Let's go to the movies. Okay, sure. We can go to the movies. Pay for it if you got to. Just make sure that you can get out and start experiencing dating again, and what the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on what you prefer, has to offer you. Get back into those conversations with them. Get back into, so that you can get into the groove of um, being conversational, finding out new things about people, etc., etc. A lot of times, another thing is women don't really know what they want. Um, and I give this away because it's true. We'll say we want somebody who is this and he's that, and he has to have a job, and he has to have this, and he has to have that. When you get that man, you're bored, you hate him, you want somebody that's just gonna just dog you out and and give you a little spank and you cool. So you really have to know what you want. Find out who you are, find out who they are, and find out if you feel like those two things can be combined in a long-term situation. It's a tough job, but you'll figure it out. I wish you the best, sister or brother. All right, let's move on to the next one. Ooh, now here's this one. My sister's husband. This person has to be young. She got to be like 17, 20, 25. I don't know anybody. Men are the most gossipy person. Let's just read it. This is from Anonymous 5457. So I'm having some issues with my sister's husband. He is best friends with my ex-boyfriend. That tells you the answer right there. About a month ago, I was talking to my sister's husband about some things I miss about my ex and what went on in our bed and our relationship wise. Why the hell are you talking to your sister's husband about how you screwing in the bed? That's a red flag for me. I'm like, you ain't gonna like what I got to say about this. I told him that I wasn't in a relationship. I think it's supposed to say I told him that if I wasn't in a relationship, I would take him back in a heartbeat. But since I love my boyfriend, now I'm trying to move on. Okay. Yeah, you young, honey. Because I mean that's obvious. You say something like that to a man, he's gonna tell his best friend, man, if I wasn't in a relationship, I would take him back in a heartbeat. You know that's gonna get to him. Why you even post this? I'm gonna read the rest of it anyway. I told my brother-in-law that I've gone to the hospital for medical reasons I do not want to put on here. He keeps going to my ex-boyfriend and telling him everything. And my ex goes, well, you should know that he confides in me. Yeah, you're right. He's right. You should know. And I think you do know. That's why you telling him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I even took this daggone question in the first place. It's making me mad. Oh gosh, where was I? I told him what he wanted to hear. I'm sorry, you're such good friends. Just a little white lie to drop the conversation. I don't know what to do. I'm really irritated and frustrated because my ex, he told me that he knew everything that I tell my sister's boyfriend. I feel really trapped. I feel like I can't trust anybody anymore. Yeah, you should just stop telling people stuff altogether. Period. Just keep everything to yourself. Get you a psychiatrist, get you a counselor, talk to them. Just leave the rest of it alone, honey. I'm sorry. Until you figure communication out, because this is clearly you're telling him so that he would go and tell your boyfriend. That's what it sounds like to me, and that's probably what it sounds like to your sister's husband. And that's why he's telling him what he's telling him. Stop telling the man if you don't want him to know. That's the most common sense thing I've ever came across in my life. How could you not? I'm sorry. If you're a child, if you're 17, 16, 17, 18, I would like for you to get into a big sister program as soon as possible. Okay? All right, so that's it, you guys, for today. There is no chat, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go back there. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of these, like maybe a week, and just see how these go. Because I do like them. And I like voicing my opinion about a lot of this stuff. And doing it on Ask Herbie, with the whole anonymous thing, no. I'm going to tell you who I am. And this is why I'm saying it. And if you don't like it, oh well. Now, in the meantime, in between time, don't forget you can follow me on Instagram at Myka Latoya. You can follow me on Twitter at flyshoes.com. I do have books for sale on Amazon. I'll leave the links below. And also, let's see, what did I say I was going to do at the beginning? I don't remember because I'm getting old. You know how that goes. So here's what we'll do. Whatever I said I was going to do in the beginning or leave a link for in the beginning, if I even said it, I'll go ahead and make sure that I leave it down below if there's something else I'm missing. I might do a maybe a link to Ask Herbie because they don't pay me to do this. I want to do it because I want to do it. It's a free app and everybody's anonymous and they're asking for advice, so I'm giving it. You don't like it? You ain't got to watch. Thank you. Y'all have a good one. Don't forget, make sure you're nice to someone who is nice to you.